Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 Hot 6 GSL SuperTournament, Season 1.
Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2022. GSL Super Tournament is back. I am back. Happy to be here. Sorry for missing out on the last Super Tournament. This is the do-over one. We're doing a Super Tournament do-over.
We're even using the same picture, so it's all good. We're going to pretend that other thing never happened.
Shout outs to State. I think you did a great job. I did check in on the cast while I was over in America visiting friends and family, but I'm back and I'm excited for the new year and what we're going to have here with StarCraft.
Yeah, we're actually going to go over that a little bit. You see, of course, our schedule. It is going to be Mondays and Thursdays this week and next to clean up this first Super Tournament of the year. But here we go, guys. Here is the announcement. So basically, we have cut one Super Tournament this year. We have 3 GSL Code S's. And we have 2 Super Tournaments. We're going to bookend the year with those Super Tournaments, as you see here. We're going to be doing some seeding going in to each tournament from the previous tournament.
Right.
And you might notice here it says 20 participants for GSL. This is because we are actually changing the format. The old GSL format that you've grown to love over all the years, it's gone, it's dead. Forget about it. Okay, here's our new format.
This is the new and revised GSL format, and I'm excited about this. I think, you know, when you have a show that's been on for this long, you got to mix it up.
Yeah, you certainly do. And just to make this clear, right, so we're going to start in the round of 20. It's going to be 5 groups of 4 players. The top 2 from each group will advance to the round of 10. Then we will, and this is round robin stuff, guys. So everyone's going to play against everyone else. In the round of 10, we're going to have 2 groups of 5. Everyone's going to play each other. The top winner of each group will go to the round of 4 immediately. Second and third place will both go into the round of 6. So we'll have the second place guys playing the first match, the third place guys playing the second match. The winner of the first match goes to the round of 4. The loser of the second match is out. Then the winner of the loser match and the loser of the winner match play for that final round of 4 spot. There you go. That's how the new format works. It seems like it's a mouthful. But yeah, it's going to be kind of a fresh year because of that. I think it's just such a different format from what we've had before.
Yeah, and I think you know, it's good to mix it up. And I think you guys will get the hang out of it after one season. Yeah. That's
I wish State was here right now, man. Damn. That's what you have to say about our new format? Oh my god, you forgot how to cast.
Yeah, we're going to start up the games and find out I don't know the names of all the units. Yeah, man. So I missed you guys. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, it's going to be a very fun Super Tournament. I'm excited about the new format.
Yeah.
It's cool that we only lost 1 Super Tournament coming into this year. So that's still a lot of StarCraft 2 out here in Korea for you guys. And plenty of chances for Rogue and Maru to continue to win lots of money.
Yeah, there's been an up in the prize pool as well here. So it's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, this first Super Tournament that we have, it's a pretty cool bracket. I'm liking it, especially the matches that we're going to have on Thursday. I think we'll show you guys the actual players and the matches.
Yeah, we'll be throwing that up on screen in a little bit here, but we're going to be marathoning through these best of 5s.
Yeah, 4 best of 5s each day until that last day where we'll just finish it up.
And this is going to be the schedule going forward here. It's always going to be Mondays and Thursdays. So, yeah. If you're tuning in now, basically for most of the year, you can come in at this time and check us out. Here we go. Finally, the brackets are up.
Yeah, so here are those brackets, you know, as well as Bunny and Armani have been playing recently. Those were some tough matchups for them. But then look at the other side of the bracket. I'm really stoked for Dark vs. Gumiho. I want to see what Gumi's made of right now. I think Solar Creator is a really interesting match because Creator's been playing a lot better. Kirazown, I mean, always good. And, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of other matches here as well. But, yeah, those are kind of the ones that are sticking out to me. What about you?
I mean, looking at this, I think it's very likely we're going to have a Rogue Maru match coming down here as the brackets slowly close out. I'm very brave for saying that, I know.
I can't believe it.
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that.
Yeah.
You might be laughing, but I'm pretty confident in my bet.
Left side of the bracket is so unbelievably
stacked. It's pretty stacked.
Dark has to be just smiling to himself. He doesn't have to lose to Rogue to the finals. So here is today's matchups. Zest versus Classic, PvP to start, Rogue versus Bunny, Maru versus Armani, and Hero versus Trap.
What are you thinking about Zest versus Classic coming up here? I mean, Zest looked pretty strong last year.
Yeah, no, he did. Well, here's what I'm truly thinking, Tasteless, is remember about 4 seasons ago when we were told Zest was going to the military, it was going to be his last tournament?
Yeah,
and he's been in every tournament since? Dude, I don't know what's going on. I feel betrayed. I think I'm going to call the military police and just check to like make sure nothing.
Well, this has been a thing actually in the history of StarCraft with Korean StarCraft and even non-Korean StarCraft where players announce retirements and then they're in the next season.
I know.
Yeah.
But Zest is still here. The military hasn't actually taken him yet. So he'll be playing once again. He's going up against Classic. This first match, Classic, like even on his very first match back, looked like he had Zest and then barely messed up game 5 and Zest came back and won. So as much as I love Zest and as good as he is, Classic's got to be hungry. He doesn't have military service looming.
He's in a completely different spot, and you got to point this out. I think there are some viewers that still don't truly appreciate this hurdle that all young, able-bodied Korean men have to go through in their life, is they have to do the a little bit under 2 years of compulsory military service. And you know, when you're done with that, you can do whatever you want. With your professional career here. And so Classic in a completely different place. He can go back and focus on gaming. You know, whereas Zest, like we said earlier, we kind of thought he was going to be taking a hiatus, just like Parting has recently done, going to do his military service. But yeah, you got to imagine Classic's pretty hungry to move on here in Super Tournament and also correct the past, you know, where Zest managed to get the upper hand against him.
Sure. So for me personally, I'm feeling Classic here. And I'd love to see Classic actually come back into his full form and just clean the floor with everybody because, I mean, he was top dog for Protoss for quite some time there.
Yeah, you know, we've always had a couple of these Protosses that all play a little bit differently and really have their own style. It does seem to be, especially with that race, you can really express yourself and do a lot of creative stuff, but Classic was one of those fixtures, one of those Protoss gods.
Yeah, I like what you said. Like, it's a race where you kind of can't express yourself and do things like that. I'm like, and that's why I know I don't want to be friends with any of these guys. Look at him express himself with that hand rush
to the very end. All right, we're going to start this off on 2,000 atmospheres. It's 2022, and GSL is back. We're going to be hopping into this best of 5 with Zest versus Classic. Right now, let's go.
Game start. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Ooh.
Alpha X, Classic.
That's cool.
They cut a little hole in the overlay. Goes right over the Nexus.
It really does. Does it kind of fit over the hatchery, though?
Will the creeps stick to it?
Oh, that's cool. It reminds me of like one of those little magic tricks where you're like, yeah, see how the coin can't get through, then you make the coin go through, like the hole in the tissue?
That's right. And then we take that overlay and we hold it up to the sun to understand how a solar eclipse works.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I think we're going to have a pretty interesting PvP ahead of us here. I mean, you have to have a pretty wide range of play, especially in a best of 5 PvP. So let's see how this starts off, and you know, with each game after that, what kind of variations and build orders and stuff are we going to have here?
Well, both going for just that standard double cave opener. And we got to wait a little bit here. Tasteless, what have you been up to? You've been gone for so long.
Yeah, man. I was back with friends and family in the U.S. I went to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Then I was in Kansas City, where I grew up. And then to end the trip, I was in San Francisco.
Damn.
And then I came back here. And it's funny because I had scheduled the entire trip because the rules at the time were that we wouldn't have to quarantine if we came back in and were vaccinated. And when I was in Kansas City, I read the news about Omicron. And I was in my Airbnb like, no. And so, yeah, I got back here, and then I was stuck in my house for 10 days. So I've now done the quarantine thing twice.
Yeah, well, glad to have you back.
It's good to be back, man.
Yeah, and it's nice to have GSL back as well.
Yeah.
It's I was actually surprised we got this first tournament started so quickly. Sometimes we don't have any GSL in January.
Sometimes we don't even start GSL until March. I know that's happened 1 or 2 years here where we have a pretty late start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting to have a Super Tournament to kick things off. This is always, I don't know, this is a special tournament for me, man. It's kind of fun to have something as epic as this. I liked it a little bit better when we had it 4 days in a row. You know what I mean? We kind of banged out the whole thing, almost like it was, you know, an international event that we would be doing overseas pre-pandemic. But
I preferred that a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. So going into this game, we have the Nexus coming down here. We have a probe over at the expansion here for Zest. Although, okay, he starts his Nexus here as well. So we can't have anything too dramatic occur just yet. I mean, both players are basically investing in the later part of the game. No one wants to act too quickly here.
Yeah, seeing those sentries pop out really show us that it's going to be like one of those really funny games where there's just continual scouting of each other. And it's like, okay, now we get our forges, and you know, and now it's like, well, do we just make another Nexus? Yeah, I guess so, because we both know each other have.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see that pretty quickly here as those hallucinations go across. Here's the one from Zest going through Classic Space. Yeah. He's going to find that Twilight and instantly puts down his own Twilight. You don't want to be too far behind on that Blink upgrade.
Right. So there will be a small window of time where one player is going to have Blink, the other one. We'll see if anything will become of that. But I think for the time being, this is really a game that's kind of pointed towards early on passivity, and then later on we're going to see this develop. But I would definitely welcome a macro game here, you know, to start things off in a PvP. So often PvP can be very short. You know, there's a lot of ways that Protoss can break another Protoss early on or be broken. So it'll be cool to see this, especially with the Forge coming down here, another indicator of, you know, a more standard game.
Well, that is kind of what happens when you both go for these fast expansions with the sentries. It's just like so hard to deny any scouting.
Right.
If you can't hide anything, then you can't, you know, like you can't kill each other, then get upgrades. This is like StarCraft 101, right? It's actually kind of funny to see Zest really slow on adding a Forge here, right? Because as soon as you scout the Twilight, you can almost just be like, well, if I'm going Twilight and he's going Twilight and we both have sentries, the Forge should be coming up pretty quickly, but we don't see that from Zest.
Not yet. There's still time for him to maybe try to do that.
And look at this, he's behind like 5 probes right now.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd, right? It seems like Classic is just moving faster in this game.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to figure out here if he has like plans on getting aggressive or something.
Maybe he has like an extra gateway or something. Yeah, something that's going to come here. Because normally when you have 2 players that are roughly doing the same thing, you would expect the worker count to be a little bit closer.
And look at that. Like, Classic is very, very on top of things. Like, he starts his 3rd Nexus immediately. He already has, like, everything for him is looking a little bit better.
Yeah, he even gets 2 probe kills here. Not enough to pay for the loss of the Adepts, but I think, you know, it's a perfectly fine move to try to shave off a couple probes here, especially as the Nexus is already coming out. And again, this has been thematic in this game so far, is everything is a little bit slower here for Zest.
Doesn't mean that you're dead or anything, but it is weird to see Classic just kind of, he's like in the lead in every single way.
Yeah, he's about 2 steps ahead in every way.
Yeah, and he's gonna walk up here, and it looks like he wants to blink into the main. I don't know about that. But, I mean, maybe, I guess.
He's going to go for it here.
I guess you go over here and you take 2 volleys and then you recall and lose 2 stalkers, right? Like, is that how that goes?
Yeah, I guess it's the idea, is to just try to shave off a couple probes if you can.
Loses a couple stalkers as well.
We've got a supply block Zest now. I guess you might as well take advantage of the fact that you can recall back home.
Yeah,
you know,
no reason not
to. That
to.
is sort of a resource in of itself.
Yeah, especially if you get a couple probes and stuff like that, it's definitely not a bad play. Charge coming up on both sides, those gateways being added, Robo's coming down because it's starting to get hard to keep track of what's going on here. Like a little slip in of a Dark Shine will end you if you don't go for that.
Right.
+2, well ahead here for Classic though.
Yeah, Charge on the way here for both players. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a slower game here, and you know, we don't see this as often, I feel like, in StarCraft 2, but yeah, Classic is just sort of kind of ahead. He's just sort of playing a little bit faster and able to get everything out a little bit more quickly here. We got the 2 Adepts. Oh, it looks like he's going to find these. I thought he might be able to run around with these, but the Shade is not going to be fast enough for them to get out.
Yeah, it's almost like he's leading this dance, right? This tango. Like, I'm not a professional dancer, believe it or not, but like I believe
you wouldn't
that
guess it initially,
one player, when you look at me, you think, wow, that guy's a dancer.
Yeah.
But
when you look at Artosis, you think movement and rhythm.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do look like that, don't I? I do look like the word rhythm.
I think we're about to have an attack come in here. The War Prism, again, also finishing a little bit earlier here. And that's usually an indicator that, you know, you want to try to be active and force a fight. He's going to be coming around here from the southern side of the map. We have the 4 sentries in the back, and Stalker's taking the initial shots. 4 Stalkers overall here, so definitely Zest is going to have to pull away. Another big warp in here with the Zealots.
I like this a lot, and he almost has his +2, which is going to make his Stalkers worth a lot more. There are a couple Archons in here, but with the amount of Stalkers he has, he can just, look at that. So he blinks forward, he snipes that Prism instantaneously, and like,
and I love the hallucinated Archons here. You know, just anything that might be able to soak up some damage. Good control here from Zest, but I think this is going to come down to the numbers right now. There's just way more here for Classic, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised the game kind of looked like this, because GG Classic basically just getting further and further ahead. The engagements usually are how we kind of break down a game. Like, someone had a fight here, they lost this, and that's how somebody got ahead. But I think this game's a bit different. It really just looks like one player was keeping up with all the tasks that you have to do in a normal a game, and was ahead by quite a bit there at the end.
Yeah, that was very, very odd. That looked to me, now I hate trying to like get inside of pro gamer heads too much, but that looked to me not like a prepared Zest. Because Zest is known for optimizations and things like that. There is no reason he should have less than Classic at all moments.
Yeah, he wins with these window timings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he comes in with more than anybody's had at that specific moment, and usually smothers the other player. But yeah, to see Classic bigger, faster, stronger, I don't know if it's a good sign coming in here into game 2.
It's not for Zest. It's not a good sign.
All right, guys, let's go to game 2. Did you remember to cut the hole in the overlay?
Dragon
okay, good.
Phoenix Gaming. Zest.
Imagine how awkward it'd be otherwise. Is that supposed to be plastic? It's like there's little plastic folds on the side, like saran wrap.
I didn't notice.
Take a look at it this time.
Okay.
Alpha X.
You see that?
Classic.
Yeah, it looks like it's like plastic.
Are we using saran wrap?
Yeah, but like if you put a hole in the saran
Listen,
wrap,
can I have that when we're done with the show? I need to put my sandwich in the fridge, and I would like to.
Well, it's gonna still get dry because it has a hole in it.
I want to use. That's a good point. I need to use 2 different player overlays and wrap them together. This game we have Zest immediately with a probe coming across the map. No scouting yet for Classic.
Yeah, we'll see what Zest has planned here. Probably just to scout, very light harassment and whatnot. Maybe you'll try to take the gas? No, not even trying. Classic wasn't going to allow that to occur anyways.
So, oh, okay, he's throwing a pylon down here. I think he's trying to generate the look of maybe some kind of a rush or an attack, but it's not actually
coming. He wants it to look like a cannon rush.
Classic is calling his bluff here. He's not even reacting. And so he cancels that at the last second. And again, that does mean that, you know, Classic inches just a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, like honestly, I'm ready for Classic to drop a mule on Zest the way these games have been going. Like that fake cannon rush right there where Classic doesn't even budge.
Yeah.
He doesn't flinch, his eyes
like,
don't blink.
Cannon rush. When's the last time you did a cannon rush like this against Protoss Zest?
Well, you can't even tell if he's called a bluff or he just didn't see it. Like that's how much he didn't react, right? So it's kind of like, damn Zest, like you're getting a little bit punked here. Especially after game 1 that looked like that.
So the Stargate's going to be placed just outside of where the main is. This time around, Classic gearing up for some aggression early on. We don't have any indicators yet as to what the plans are here from Zest, but that'll show itself in a little bit. You know, going back to that last game, it's something we don't really talk about when we cast that often, but in all RTS games, and StarCraft's no exception, there's this element of like what you're just doing on your own, the single player. You know what I'm saying? And usually at the top levels, both players are doing that part perfectly. So we don't talk about it. But it is funny to see one pro gamer basically just kind of out macro in early stages of the games. Out macroing when you're on like 6 bases and stuff, that's a totally different story. But you know, when you're basically out macroing a guy on 2 bases, that's pretty surprising to see in a GSL.
Yeah, this is peculiar as well because he had his probe in the base and saw no warp gate start when it should have started. And this is a proxy void ray, right? So Zest should know that there's something out there. He's gone robo. Also, I mean, we didn't really mention that he didn't wall in at the top of his ramp. That may have been to try to sell the cannon rush extra.
I think that's what it is.
But yeah, I mean, if you're planning on making quite a few units, you can get around.
Did he see the shadow of the Void Ray?
I'm not sure.
I'm curious, because this attack is about to activate. We actually don't have the Stalkers moving across the map, so he's going to find this, but it might already be too late. I mean, the damage is going to come in here into the main. He's going to have to pull these Stalkers back. He's going to go ahead and unpower the 2 gateways over here.
Oh, that's annoying. There will be a recall here on the Goon. No, look at this. There's 6, actually. Does not finish the pylon. He loses the Void Ray. He lost the pylon on the Proxy Stargate, and now it's 3 gate with a Prism
the pylon
against 2 gate.
Zest's pylon is still up, right? He pulled away at the last second.
No. Oh, yeah, Zest's pylon, yes. Classic's is not. Classic is like super duper
Classic
dead.
might die.
Oh, he's
like right here. Losing the Void Ray, having you know, a defunct Stargate's not going to be helpful. These Stalkers can't even get away, and we're going to be going into game 3 almost immediately. So Zest really turning this game on its head.
Yeah, they I like the idea of where he put the shield batteries. It's kind of like clever, and he even put the second pylon. I mean, he got totally wrecked here, but I'll be surprised if Zest can't break up here. I mean, he's going for an immortal, so maybe there's some small chance that he lives through this, but Zest has the same tack and more.
Yeah, if he can basically get enough of these Stalkers up on the high ground and win the Stalker fight there, then the Immortal can't compete with Warp Prism Stalker.
Yeah, but looking at how they're playing this, Stasis, I still feel like Classic's playing pretty well, even though this didn't go right for him. Look at his Simulation City here and everything. It's great placement on the batteries, how far back they are. He's been zoning at the ramp as best he can. Look at this micro. Classic's playing very, very well.
Yeah, this may be a moment where the game could have ended, but in fact, Zest just isn't able to quite break in there. He may even end up overextending. Now, keep in mind, 1 gateway was killed. A second one's going to go down, which means all he's going to have is the Immortal that's coming out. Sometimes an Immortal is all you need. In some ways, it is the best unit in the game. But yeah, so far so good here, honestly, for Classic. And Classic sending these 2 Stalkers around here. Zest needs to do something to deal with this, because frankly, Zest is going to start taking more damage otherwise. And so he has some Stalkers warped in. Now that does buy Classic a little bit more time back at home.
Yeah. He has that Immortal, so he's still alive, and it's still 1 base versus 1 base. The probe count is very similar here. He has a Prism, he has an Immortal, so you can kind of fudge numbers a little bit here, even though Zest definitely has the lead and things have gone better for him. Zest does double back and just double check on that. You know, there's a Prism out, so you never know. He could have dropped out a probe to go ahead and get that going again, or powered it with the Prism. You never know. But
oh, he's going to catch this Warp Prism.
That's...
Oh my god, it got away. Never mind.
Yeah, the Stalkers will not, though. Not a fantastic position here still for Classic, but he gets down his ramp. And now, is Classic going to try to attack?
I don't think he will. I think he wants to get rid of this pylon and try to stabilize. And I'll tell you what, the fact that Classic has survived what was a pretty catastrophic early game and is now in a pretty okay position. I mean, he's got the Immortal tech out. That's something that really hasn't developed over here for Zest. And he's just going to have that Immortal count lead from here on out. Looking at the workers, they're roughly at about the same number here. Zest Nexus has started before Classics has, but that advantage could be offset by, I think, the tech advantage here for Classic. I think having these additional Immortals is going to be very handy.
Yeah, I mean, he does. You're right. He does have a slight Immortal advantage, and he's actually going into Blink rather quickly here. Honestly, this looks to me like a game that should end up going into Blink Disruptor on both sides, but it doesn't seem like Zest is going down that road. He's getting a Forge right now.
Yeah.
His Nexus is a bit quicker, since we don't have one for Classic here. Yeah, I guess this is going to come down very heavily to when Zest scouts exactly what's going on here. Look at this. Ooh, he's picking off what he can.
Yeah, very nicely done by Zest. Not enough Stalkers to really threaten the Warp Prism, so good move by Zest.
Yeah, Classic is going about as all in as you can get here. Zero Nexus at his natural long distance mining. Yeah, the Observer sees it too, and Zest moves it out.
Yeah.
Zest even throwing down a photon cannon here at home.
Yeah, well, I think he realizes all he has to do is last for a few more minutes, and if Classic can't kill him, then there's no way that Classic can recover. But this has been a tough game for Classic, and it's also a tough choice to, you know when you need to go all in and give up on a later game where you might not be able to recover.
Yeah, well, it would have been very tough for him to just down Stalkers and having lost a lot of his production to switch it up and go into that macro game.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning, I felt like it would be one where you have to kind of go into disruptors. Maybe he doesn't want to try that out. I mean, when you're that far behind, it kind of makes sense. Now, Zest going to recall his Prism with the Immortals, and that, like, with that there, shield batteries, a cannon, 4 Immortals. Blink is not going to be enough to change the way this is going to go.
Yeah.
Like yeah, the Prism is going to be a big problem because he can kind of do these little force field divides to carve units.
Yeah.
But if you pick them up quickly as Zest, it kind of undoes what you're...
Yeah, if you're good at juggling. Okay, he blinks in. And a pretty decent arc here for Classic.
Yeah.
Really good control here with the Warp Prism. He does take some additional shots onto that. It's not enough. GG Zest takes game 2. We're tied up 1-1.
Classic there tried as hard as he could to kill off that Prism because, that was the one thing that was going to ruin all of his plans.
Yeah.
And couldn't quite get it there between batteries and Zest Micro, so Zest takes that down, but yeah, I think Classic did not play poorly there at all. It was not like game 1 where Zest just outdid Classic. It was more like he found that Proxy Void Ray, like everything kind of went in Zest's favor, and rather than they did the same build and one guy had 10 more stalkers.
Yeah.
So all right, we're tied up 1-1. Still feeling pretty confident about Classic though.
Yeah, I think Classic, even though he lost, he did look pretty good back there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a moment it looked like Zest was going to end the game within the first couple minutes, and then Classic really hung on and actually fought back pretty well. But going for the all-in clearly was not going to work out. Zest was able to hold that Nexus, and we're going to go to map 3 now and see who's going to take the lead.
All right, let's do it. Glittering Ashes set.
Game starts. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Trying to figure out what this is reminding me of, this saran wrap cutout for the Nexus.
Alpha X, Classic.
It's like, isn't this actually, like, don't you, this is how you get, like, surgery or something, is they, like, put something over you and then, like, they just cut a hole in the fabric so they can get to where you need to have your surgery? It's like, yeah, we're going to have to remove this Nexus. Like, oh, really? Oh, is it going to hurt? It's like, you'll be fine. You'll be asleep for it.
The doctor says I have a malignant Nexus. So both players going to be scouting each other right away here. There's a ladybug back there. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see.
Yeah. They got to get those gold minerals on that conveyor belt down there as well.
Don't you think it's weird that some countries call it a ladybird?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, I know.
Are you trolling me right now?
I'm
Is that actually
not even trolling you? I think it's
some
like
people call it a
in Britain
ladybug
or something. A ladybird.
I can't even believe that. It's not even a bird, though.
It's shocking. I know. It's shocking.
Now we're going to get tweeted at from some guy in the UK, like, did you know that it's called English because it's from England? You're
yeah. Like, you just keep spelling color with a U, bro.
You guys think color has a U? You're insane.
Let's add even more useless letters to the English language. That sounds just fantastic.
So this game, both players doing pretty different things here. It looks like, at least setup-wise, Classic is prepping for an expand here. He's got his wall in on the low ground, whereas Zest has everything tucked inside of his main.
Yeah, and you know, if you do these one-gate expansion builds and it's on flat ground, a lot of times you do see people go for like Void Ray openers against them for an all-in. Oh, look at that offensive pylon, very nicely placed.
Yeah, a little manor pylon there, being annoying.
Yeah,
and then he has a second pylon block over here at the Nexus.
And both sides going Stargate, so I think the amount of slowing that's happened here, you're probably just going to see a Nexus from both sides. Yeah. Zest actually gets his first.
Yeah. kind of funny considering that the entire setup for Classic was to get ahead with an early Nexus, and it's
He wanted
actually
that
Zest
Nexus.
who's outmaneuvering him here. And so now we have this Nexus that's been taken, and it's like far out and in the front.
Dude. Hellions are just going to go and kill all those probes later, Tasteless. Don't expand there.
And this actually could be a setup here later on for Zest to have a pretty strong attack over that base.
Now, Zest is going Phoenixes, and it's an Oracle for Classic. And this was one thing I did want to mention, that in this type of situation, I feel like if you go Phoenixes, you're going to be the one that's ahead. Now, a single Zealot just going to prance his way over towards Classic space. Oh my god, he gets a probe.
And he wants more Artosis.
He does. He wants
He's
two
pissed.
probes.
And there's not a lot of recourse here. He is microing the probes pretty well, but not well enough to keep another one alive here. And he's actually going to get 4 kills.
Oh, my God.
We almost never have a PvP where that happens early on, but this is that game, apparently.
4
probes early on
for
for
a Zealot that just like walks in through the side like he owns the place.
A slow-moving Zealot.
Dude, I thought it was going to be Hellions killing all the probes. It turns out it was a single Zealot. Damn.
Now the Oracle's going to come in here. Oh my god, and it's going to be caught by the Phoenix immediately. So he has to recall it back, and look at that. He immediately makes a U-turn going back towards the main, knowing that he can go kill that. And so things already getting pretty rough here for Classic.
But Classic is making a Dark Shrine, and that is a great way to win a game you don't deserve.
It is.
I mean, if he keeps making Phoenixes, look, he's getting his own Twilight, so like maybe he goes Blink from here or something.
Yeah, it's the awkward moment where you realize that the one Stalker actually cannot fight many Phoenixes. And so he loses that. Now going into the main here, he's not going to find the Oracle, but he will find some probes.
Yeah, he sees that Dark Shrine as well, so that's really important. I think that will probably seem, well, he throws down the Robo. Does he have time for that? Yeah, I guess he does. Just slightly. I wouldn't mind a Forge here. I'm scared. I'm scared Class is trying to get him with the DT.
Ooh,
oh my god.
Big stun there on all those probes. That's going to be a real hiccup in the mining back there.
I like that stun. And, well, Classic is just going right into...
I've never had my play-by-play quite complimented.
Yeah.
You're impressed with my vocabulary there?
Well, normally we call it like a stasis ward, but I'm like a stun? Yeah, man, a stun.
The stasis ward does stun them. I'm coming here with fresh stuff in 2022.
Absolutely. League of Legends, watch out. We're going to steal your player base. We got stuns in this game now. You like, what do they call
You got to wait for that disruptor skill shot to connect.
Oh, man. All right, so we got 5 Phoenixes out right now.
Yeah. And he's going to be moving across the map with those.
So hold on, am I like hallucinating right now? Okay, he did make an Oracle. Okay, there's the Observer, because I'm like, no DTs were made, which is fine, right? If you get it scouted, sometimes it's best to just be like,
just give up using that tech. You can always try something later on, but it's going to be a bad investment. He didn't let it finish. Is that correct?
I believe that's the case, right? It was right there behind where it says Hot 6, and I don't see anything but Hot 6 now. A freak of TV there.
11 probes have already been killed off now by Zest. Classic is inbound here, though, with this big attack, and I don't think there's enough on the ground to deal with this. The Immortal's going to come out, but this is so many Stalkers.
It is.
Oh, kind of a weird engagement there. He blinked away.
Well, as long as he has an overcharge, I guess, like, this tiny amount of units will hold, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no overcharge. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Thought for a second that was going to backfire, but he does keep the Immortal alive.
Classic, in the meantime, lost so many probes. 22 to this Oracle.
Yeah, he's got like 60% of the workers that Zest has right now. I mean, this is brutal, to be honest. Zest should have a very easy game from here on out to close us out.
Yeah, I mean, he had the nice stun on the probes earlier, but now he must be stunned that all of his probes died during that attack.
Yeah, there's no way these Stalkers are going to be able to do anything over here. The Phoenixes are going to come in once more, and that means the probe count is going to get even lower here for Classic.
I like it. Zest gets completely manhandled when they do that same build,
and
now he goes 2-0 after that. He's like, yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah, pretty impressive game there from Zest. He's definitely found his mojo, Artosis.
Yeah. I mean, that worked out really well for him. He delayed the Nexus a lot, got his down first. That one Hero Zealot that walks in and gets 4 probe kills. I've never even seen anything like that in my whole life. That's like It's just such a weird, like, I mean, if an Adept gets in there and gets that, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, but a single Zealot, amazing. And I mean, the Phoenixes did so well, that counter Oracle holding on with exactly one Immortal, like, that popped out just in time. Very well done by Zest.
Yeah, Classic's going to have to recover here and bring a better game. Definitely some bumpiness here at the start of some of these games. Zest really pulling through ahead. Yeah, no more mistakes here from Classic or it's all going to be over, man. We're going to go into Game 4 right now.
Game start. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Alpha X, Classic.
It would have been cooler if they like brought the saran wrap down on the Nexus and it burst through. And then you like put it over like the Zerg hatchery and it just like kind of flattens like the tips on it.
The creep sticks to it.
Yeah. Only the Nexus is sharp enough to break through the saran wrap.
That's because Protoss, they're using pyramid tech, Artosis.
That's true, yeah.
Did I ever tell you this time, like, this is like super long ago, like the very first time I ever worked at BlizzCon. This is like, probably like 18 years ago or something like that. And I met Nal Ra, and I had always assumed that this is, for those of you who are only familiar with StarCraft 2, this is like a super legendary StarCraft Protoss player.
Yeah.
And I always thought, you know, Nal was the clan, and I thought he named himself Ra, like the Egyptian god.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool because, you know, it looks like the Protoss believes are kind of like pyramids.
Yeah.
And I told him this, and he's like, oh no, that's not why I named myself that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
He's like, I just made it. I didn't have any idea for a name, so I just made a sound.
Oh, like, I thought it was because Nala is like flying.
No, he's just like, I have no
That's that's the best Protoss player in the world at the time for you guys.
He's like, I just made a
Literally
sound.
has
I have no idea. I'm like, I can't even believe this. Now you have the worst idea I've ever
And how
heard.
weird is that for poor White Raw?
That's
right?
true, yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, I'm like the white version of that.
Yeah.
It's like, the white version of what, a sound?
Nexus coming down now for Zest. But there is a Stargate that is super close to the entrance here. It looks like this is probably going to be maybe Void Rays?
Yeah, I mean, a Void Ray Rush would be pretty good here. It's full wall in here for Zest with his own Stargate.
It's kind of ironic because the Wallen is supposed to keep you safe, but with a rush like this, the fact that all the important structures are right there means that you could be killed almost immediately here.
Yeah,
it's more important to even kill this than it is to actually kill the Nexus. If you just basically destroy the Wallen, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, definitely. He makes the pylon there too, so we know exactly what's going on.
It's that Zealot from the last game.
Oh, damn.
Where are the pros? Bring them to me.
So, I mean, a lot of shield batteries going to be going down on both sides. We're going to see what this micro looks like. But yeah, it's kind of like the aggressive side is from Classic, but he doesn't really have recourse. And also you're up a ramp as Zest.
Yeah. It's not that easy.
So if you hold as Zest, you win, but that's
I don't
a
know
hard
that he's
thing
going
to
to hold here. The Stalker's going to come out now.
Yeah, this is pretty bad with the Zealot. Dude, these Zealot techs that we're seeing today, something else.
Now he can give the building some more shields here, but when the Void Ray comes in, yeah, I don't know that the batteries can compete.
Okay, he does have the overcharge, but this is kind of funny, right?
Like, just barely not enough. And, you know, if shields go any further down here, oh my god, it's good. The Void Ray is going to be barely saved here.
Oh my god. This is exciting. So the Void Rays are trying to kill each other, but the shield batteries aren't letting them. That Zealot is still working. That Zealot has thousands of damage chases.
Yeah, the Zealot's biceps are so sore from punching the building for so long. Oh, gets one.
And Classic is going to bring us to a game 5.
Yeah, that should be the tipping point. What? He actually keeps it alive, but it won't matter because that's too much damage from 2 Void Rays. GG, Classic takes game 4, bringing us to that final match.
What a game that one was. That was my favorite of the series.
I hope that Zealot makes a 3rd appearance here in game 5.
I know, yeah.
He's the true hero of all this.
No, that was funny though. Like he had to use so much energy there to charge up to save that. It was like Zest just maybe cutting a few too many corners, not really getting any early units out to push that Zealot back, making it a bit tougher to hold on. And on to game 5, man. Berlingrad going to be our next.
That's right. These guys have proven to, be pretty even so far. I actually kind of thought that maybe Zest was going to pull through in game 4, but smart move by Classic. The problem is that's probably not a strategy that you can recycle back into game 5, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many times you want to do an expand like that in a series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's risky too because everyone just does the Void Rush against it once you do it. It's so common.
Yeah.
And it's hard to hold,
All right, guys, we're ready to go into the final match between Zest and Classic.
Game start.
Let's go. There's a doggy on this map.
Yep.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Zest.
Oh, don't get your feet caught in that great doggy.
But he also has a dog.
You know those sewer grates that are like that,
Alpha
right, that are everywhere?
X.
Yeah.
Classic.
So you remember Pippa, my old Maltese dog that I had a long time ago. So, I mean, I brought her for walks all the time, and we'd walk over grates, and she'd just walk over them and stuff. But little did I know that she wasn't aiming her feet. She just got lucky every time we walked over them.
Oh, really?
And then one time we were walking over them, all 4 legs fell in. And she was like, oh! And she never walked over another grate.
It's going to be pretty traumatizing as a dog when all your limbs get sucked in there.
I had to lift her every time from then on around grates. It was sad,
so
but
funny.
Kind of cute and funny, too.
Yeah, man, going into game 5. I don't know who I want to advance, Artosis.
You're such a fan of both of them.
Yeah, I just have to cheer for both.
Oh, I want to see
It'd be cool to see Classic, kind of perform well. I mean, there's something about me where I have like a soft spot for these guys post-military. I think because I'm also older now, where I'm like, all right, I want the guys that are much older to still do well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
there was this was I think the stigma has gone down considerably, but there was this whole period where everybody was like, after you go to the military, it's over for your career.
It was.
Yeah.
It was for the longest time. And actually, it didn't change until after the Kespa teams vanished.
That's right.
And I think it wouldn't have changed likely because, like, there was so much practice going on. But nowadays, like, StarCraft is a little bit more mental. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because we don't have, like, 10 houses of 20 people each playing 15 hours a day. It's not like that
One of the
anymore.
issues, too, is people are like, I wish we could go back to that. I'm like, who doesn't want to go back to that?
Everyone
the
who
players.
ever did it.
Yeah, everyone who ever actually lived that life.
Yeah.
Like, now you can actually practice and then stream and also make money while you're practicing, and like it makes more sense.
And look, you're totally welcome to play the 15 hours a day. That is up to you.
No one's saying you
ahead.
can't do that. Yeah. And now you have Discord. You can talk to friends on there and strategize there. And yeah, it's definitely better now to be a pro gamer than it was in the past.
Well, yeah. I think for living your life, definitely. Maybe there was more stability back then, right? Because you didn't have to win prize money, and you kind of had a wage.
Well, I think
like
what we've seen is just a shift in the way the economy of a pro works now. Now it just makes sense. Like if you want to just have an income, you can stream, assuming that you're big enough. You know what I mean? But kind of monetize that.
But yeah, it's cool though that these players can come back from the military now. Because I remember when Garimto got out of the military and said he was going to return to being pro, and everyone's like, that's never going to work, and then it totally didn't work.
Yeah. Well, also Garimto was like a really big deal, like at a certain period of StarCraft, where I feel like this is true in StarCraft too. There were like a couple players who were like really godlike early on. This seems to happen in a lot of RTS games where like you're really good, but you can't actually keep up if everybody's practicing. And I think Garimto was really brilliant, but he was also like not like a guy who's going to be like, all right, now the new meta, 7 years into this is going to be this, Where I think there's other players who certainly can do that.
Sure.
He's like generation 1, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. All right, this Oracle actually
the battery's
coming in
not done.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Let's see how many you can get. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's not what he wanted to target, but okay. Still 5, 6. That's really legit.
That's a lot,
6 probe kills. That's amazing.
But the Stalkers are going to be headed over here up to the ramp. It looks like there's 6 in total compared to the 3 that are here. And if this is going to work, he has to act very quickly because batteries are warping in. Blink as an upgrade is coming. That's going to give you a big advantage from low ground to high ground as well.
He does have that Prism. Wait, is that one shield battery actually powered by anything other than the pylon there? Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's so funny. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. Looks like that Oracle wanted to do a little bit more. Okay, going to set up that Stasis Ward.
He's going to stun him. He's going to stun him, Artosis.
Oh, he stuns 3 probes.
Now he gets 1 gateway. The problem is that I think that Zest may be fine.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
And, again, that probe count is pretty painful. I mean, we are seeing Classic try to catch up, but it's not happening that quickly.
No, he's getting into his own blink here as well. We do have more Stalkers for Classic. So, I mean, he still has the advantage in that regard, but I'm kind of liking it for Zest, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, he just went right for that Warp Prism. Now we're going to see Classic try to run up the ramp, but to no avail. He'll have to back down over here. The worker count has slowly evened out, but that does mean that, Zest is going to be ahead in other ways here since he's had that extra money to spend on other stuff.
Yeah, like these shield batteries that are keeping him alive right now. He is about to have Blink.
Oh. He does get the Sentry.
Backs up there. You got to still be careful about this. I mean, if they have enough Stalkers to one-shot, then Blink does not actually really do much. Ooh, just barely getting out of there.
And he's going to hiccup the income again.
Ooh, look at that stun.
Yeah.
Look at that Stalker dance still.
Yeah.
Look at him go. Oh my god.
Yeah, this Oracle's going to get away as well, so we could have another moment like that coming up here.
That Stalker's doing the Gangnam style dance, Tasteless.
He's doing the Macarena, man.
Blink on the way here for Classic as well.
Is he actually going to get this Oracle? He has a trap ready at the bottom, but the Oracle's not going to go there, but their Stalker's ready to snipe it. Meanwhile, Zest is barreling across the map with his own Stalkers. Keep in mind, even though there's own Immortal here, if the Warp Prism isn't with that Immortal, the Stalkers can basically just run in and blink on top and then kill that Immortal off.
Yeah, that's true. A few volleys and he is gone. The Prism is there as well. Nice. Yeah,
I think
that was
just
set
too
up
much
too well.
here. Yeah,
can't quite snipe enough there to make that worthwhile. It's like if he tried to dive on the Prism, he's going to lose so many Stalkers, and if he tries to do anything else, the Prism
he would basically
dominates
kill the Prism and then lose all his Stalkers. So yeah, not worth it.
All right, so the Nexuses are going up. We have a Forge on the way here for Zest. So just kind of prancing around the map.
The Adepts are going to come back in here, and he's actually probably going to get some sentry kills. Actually, really good control, basically manages to save those and doesn't commit to going into the main. The Stalkers are going to be recalled back home.
That was some emergency stuff going off there.
Yeah, he pulled every alarm.
Force fields are going down. He's recalling in. Doesn't lose anything, so that's good, other than energy.
And, yeah, he's going to have to be backed off for a little bit here now. The Robotech is coming down now for Zest. And I think we're going to be in a bit of a waiting game. Oh, actually, Classic may decide to come over here and try to attack.
Yeah, he's moving across the map right now. Do you think he can actually do anything?
I'm not sure.
Does he have one Immortal?
It's so funny, there's one Stalker warped out of that. Just barely gets away. He does have one Immortal, and he's got the Warp Prism with that. Yeah. Now, the Robo is close to finishing.
I don't think he can do anything
here, it does seem like an odd time to attack, right?
Yeah. He's way down in Stalkers. We have shield batteries. There's enough sentries. Like, I'm not actually afraid here for Zest. I think he's fine.
Yeah, and I think he's got enough surface area, even with the stasises. I think he just calmly blinks back and reorganizes himself.
Yeah. But you know what? Classic is setting up a third during this. So if you're putting on this type of pressure and setting up a third base and like threatening all sorts of things, like look, he's tagged, but he's still pretending he's going to go into the main base just to keep Zest back.
Right.
Because it's like, well, Zest, you can come out and try to chase the army that you can see, but then it might go into your main and you're screwed. So he keeps him back. His third base is quicker. Like, no matter what else is happening in this game, he is getting that up very, very quickly. He's up a couple probes. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Zest can go for a counterattack right now.
Yeah, I think actually expanding here for Classic is definitely the right move.
Yeah, this was a good play. Like I was confused by the move out because it's like this should never work.
Well, it did. Yeah,
it wasn't about work.
It didn't seem to make any sense, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like he did anything that got him ahead to set up for that. But I think it's a good call that he actually turned around and went back home. I mean, this is match point right now. Whoever wins this is going to move on to the next phase of the tournament.
Yeah,
That'd be a terrible way to go down if just have a piss poor attack. It just doesn't make any sense. You lose. It's like, yeah, I guess he really is a lot better than me.
I guess that's how most StarCraft games are lost, actually. Someone attacks poorly, right?
And so with the Nexus now done here, we're going to wait for Zest Nexus to finish up. But I would say, you know, these guys are fairly even. There's a slight worker lead now here for Classic.
A few more Stalkers over on Zest's side, but that's not going to be that impactful. Ah, there you go. Zest actually getting into those disruptors now. Getting charged, getting +2.
And once he's got a couple disruptors, I think that's the moment he actually can try to come out and attack. I think, you know, one of the things about the disruptor is that it really is kind of like the Protoss siege weapon in a lot of ways. Like you can stay back, have your army in a good position, and then chuck those shots in there and really punish them if they don't control well. But if Classic is going to move off on the map initially here, then I don't think Zest is going to have that opportunity to attack. That being said, he can still defend with these.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be a little bit tricky right at first when you don't have your fully formed army yet and they have a bunch of charge lots, because it's hard to make those disruption balls actually connect how you want them to there.
Right.
But there's no Archon, so you can actually use little force field walls also.
Okay, Stasis Ward comes down, only getting those 4 Zealots. I think the angle... Whoa! Wow. Was that worth it? I mean, I feel like he lost so many... Oh my god! Jeez. Lost... What was that? 4 sentries, I think?
Yeah, no, he lost.
Man.
He was just... That was a crazy blink hit.
That was a very bad blink. I mean, he did kill a disruptor, and at what cost? I mean...
Yeah. So it's always great to kill a disruptor, but you're definitely... Like, look at the unit counts after that. It was it was pretty even and pretty close, but now... Like, Zest can roam now if he wants with Blink Disruptor. And that comp,
well,
like,
to be
is
frank,
complicated to fight against.
He might actually just be able to go kill him, to be honest.
Possibly.
He's going to come up here now. Now, the Disruptors are in the back, but the first Disruptor shot does come out and connect.
He's going to push him back. I mean, minimum, you're zoning your opponent with those Disruptor shots. Okay, he actually blinks. Ooh, a little bit of a sloppy engagement here from Zest. Like, that was...
I mean, well...
I think that was about as wasteful as you could get.
Yeah,
that
for
sure. Especially when you are up on tech, right? He's like, well, these can sit behind the force fields. I'll just blink portal, do this. But continuing, maybe he's still fine. Let's have those disruptors still.
So he's going to instead try to move up over here towards the third base. Yeah, some very clumsy engagements on both sides, really. But this is the moment that I was talking about earlier on here. He could basically set up a good position here and slowly inch his way in. Now, the first disruptor shot comes out. It does ding the Immortal, and the second one takes it out. Now, there's disruptors of his own coming down here now for Classic, but an overextension here.
Yeah, what was that?
Well,
oh, my God. He was chasing the Oracle there, and that totally did not work out. He's got to just stay in a very defensive stance here and, like,
yeah, I was about to say, he could just blink on top of this.
That's it.
And basically jump over the disruptor shots. And that's going to be it, man. Zest is going to win the 5th game and be the first player to go to the round of 8 in our Super Tournament.
Another good best of 5 between these two. This has to be frustrating for Classic.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Classic. Zest still has to do his military service. You'll be the last one standing until Zest is back. But well done by Zest. Goes into that round of 8.
I really
enjoyed that. The first game was so bad from him, but then he played quite well after that.
But that can happen, right? I mean, everybody's had a game they play where you're like, this is the worst game I've had in the last 6 months, and it's the time when it actually mattered. But what's more important is that he actually managed to recover and play a very, top-level best of 5, and he's going to be in the round of 8 now.
All right, I think we are going to be going to an interview here with Zest.
After going to a full match, Zest is the first player to move on to the round of 8 of this Super Tournament. Congratulations, Zest. Thank you.
네, 자 슈퍼토너먼트 시즌 1 첫 번째 8강
So you are the first person to move on to the round of 8, Zest.
GSL 시즌 3 코드 A 상대의 전역국 복귀
And last year, you also met Classic back then, and then you were able to beat him back then as well. So how do you feel today?
도영이랑 할 때
Well, last time I played against Classic, he only just returned from the military service,
이겨가지고
but it was a really neck and neck match at the time.
줄 알았는데 예상대로 좀 힘들었던 것
And also today was very hard for me as well.
잘하던 선수끼리인데
Well, in your primes, you guys were quite the rivals.
그때도 사실 풀 세트 접전이었고
But at the time it was a full match, and today it was a full match too.
좀 경기 스타일 좀 어떻게 느끼세요?
So how do you rate your opponent's playstyle today?
솔직히 더 좀 혼란스럽게 플레이 하실 줄 알고 제가
You know, I actually predicted that he would kind of like shake me left and right more, but that didn't really happen today.
생각보다는 좀
So it was
편했던 것 같아요.
easier than I anticipated.
2세트 공업 포격기를 잘 끊었고 3세트 예언자 카운터도
In the second game, you're able to cut off the void rays so well.
마지막 그 상대 공업 올인 4세트에서
And in the
상대가
fourth set, in the
결국
fourth game,
뚫었었잖아요.
the opponent went for the void ray all in, and he was able to go through your defense. So can you tell us about the game?
작년에 그 전역하고도 같은 빌드에 졌었거든요.
Well, I lost the same build when I came from the military service. When he came from the military service, and at the time I didn't predict he was going to go for it. But you know, today I was kind of surprised by the tactic. And once again, you gained the victory over Classic. And in your next round, you'll be playing against Rogue or Bunny.
작년 시즌 3 4강에서 승리를 했고
And if it is Rogue, you defeated him last season.
승리를 하셨잖아요.
And you also defeated Bunny in the last chance as well.
최근 강세,
So you've been showing great momentum against several players. So can you tell us where your confidence comes from?
뭐 자신감이 막 무조건 이긴다 정도는 아니고.
You know, my confidence is not at the level where I can just like defeat every opponent. But my confidence right now is that I can probably make it to the round of 4.
한편으로는 시즌 파이널 이 8강 이상에 올라갔던 프로토스가 주성 선수
But at the same time,
유일했었거든요. 2022년 이 프로토스의 앞길 좀 전망은 어떠신가요?
how do you think the Protoss is doing so far right now as a race?
솔직히 잘 모르겠고 저는
You know, I'm not sure.
그 바로 앞에 월챔을 아직 확정은 아닌데 갈 수 있다면
If I can make it to the World Championship, I'm just gonna focus on that World Championship.
시즌 3 다시 우승할 수 있는 절호의 기회였는데 그럼 그거는 다 털어버리신 건가요?
이상하게 연습 때 테란전 하면
In my practice, when I go against Terran players, I don't make mistakes.
고장이 나가지고.
But then during tournaments, I tend to make many errors in my games.
그것만 고치면.
So as long as I can fix that errors, I think going up against Terran is not too bad.
들어봤는데요. 2022년 첫 문을 열어주신 주성우 선수입니다.
So Zest, you were the first player to compete in the opening day of the Super Tournament. So anything you want to say?
군대 언제 가는지 제일 궁금하실 것 같은데.
Well, I think all the fans are curious as to when I'm going to the military service. It's not decided yet.
월챔을 할 수 있을 가능성이 좀.
But I think there's possibility that I can compete in the World Championship. So don't be too curious right now.
응원 열심히 해주셨습니다.
So please just support me during the games.
것까지 답해 주셔서 다시 한번 감사드리겠습니다. 진출 축하드립니다.
Alright, congratulations, Zest. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 GSL 첫 번째 슈퍼토너먼트 8강 진출자 주성우 선수
All right,
만나봤는데요.
thank you, Andy.
다음
Excellent
경기는
translated as
이병렬
always.
선수와
So that's our
이재선
first
선수의
best of 5,
경기입니다.
guys. Coming up
잠시 후에
next, Rogue versus Bunny, and we'll be going to that after the short break.